How's it going, everyone? My name is Bobby LaFavor. I'm here with my co-host,
Jacob Miller.
Welcome to the very first episode of 278 Sports Street. We're here to bring you the latest happenings of all things sports. Today we have a lot of heat coming from the MLB offseason. So, Jacob, what do you say we hop right into that?
So, my first big one is Nolan Arenado going to the Cardinals. I think that lineup is going to be deadly in the Central. It's going to start off with Edman, DeYoung, Goldschmidt, Arenado. That first four is pretty crazy to me. And then Yadier Molina, Tyler O'Neill. Dylan Carlson is a guy I have starred in my lineup for this. Definitely for sure. Switch hitting guy. Second or third year in the league. Definitely ready to do some damage. And they got Harrison Bader in the 8-hole, pitcher in the 9.
Has Yadi signed a deal yet?
Not officially. I think they'll go back with a 1 year, like Wainwright.
Okay.
Just so he can kind of retire a Cardinal. He's on his last legs. I mean, he's still putting up numbers, but it's nothing crazy.
That's right. Didn't Wainwright just sign a deal with him, didn't he?
The 1 year was like a couple mil just to get him back for another year, yeah.
38-year-old signing that big of a deal. That's insane.
I don't understand it, man. I mean, I get wanting to retire with your team, but if you're not going to contribute, come back as a coach. That's
Yeah, you're right.
That's where I'm at. Like, the knowledge that especially Yachty has behind the plate, like, he could do so much for those young catchers in that organization. It's unreal. And even Wainwright, could throw him as a bullpen pitcher. He came out of the bullpen his first couple years.
He did it in the postseason, too, when they made that run.
Exactly. Like, there's no reason not to utilize all your knowledge.
You're right.
Instead of coming back to the team that you were with your entire career. If you want to retire with them, stay with them. Instead of, putting up a 5 ERA in the 5 spot, let someone else take that 5 ERA and work with them.
This is big for the Cardinals. They haven't had a team like this since they made the World Series back in, what was it? It was...
2010 through 2014?
Back with David Freese winning them that World Series.
Against the Rangers,
Yes,
with the triple and then the home run.
That was big for them.
Yeah.
Now they have a team. They're rebuilding this team to be like that team, I feel like.
Yeah, I do, yeah. I agree with that.
With the pickup of Arenado, they have that star third baseman.
Mm-hmm.
They're set to do some deadly things this year.
Yep, and like you got two Gold Gloves in the infield now.
Oh, you're right.
You got the two hot corners are now Gold Gloves and a third a Platinum Glove. You have to remember that one. Arenado hasn't not won a Platinum Glove, I think, in about 4 years. So, and then you got Goldschmidt, who's, Gold Glove, nothing, barely gets the Gold Glove every year.
But he also,
he's
a hitter.
Gold Glove.
He's a hitter, though.
And he rakes. So it's worth it. That trade-off is worth it.
What were his stats this past season? Let me look that up.
I would say about 550 at-bats. No, probably not. Shortened season.
Let's check this out.
Probably 550 in a normal.
Paul Goldschmidt's 2020 stats. He had 191 at-bats, 31 runs, 58 hits, 6 home runs, 21 RBIs, and he batted .304.
304 is crazy for a power-hitting first baseman.
For a power-hitting first baseman, that is amazing. I mean, he only hit 6 home runs, 21 RBIs, but in a shortened season, that is an amazing stat line right there.
Yeah, and they were only playing 3-game sets on the road every other set. They're on the road, so you have to adjust to that different ballpark almost every game. That's insane to me.
Yeah, Cardinals are set up to have a very, very good season this year.
Definitely. I think they definitely have a chance to win Central.
Okay.
It's their division to lose at this point.
All right. So going from there, we got the Phillies signing JT Realmuto to a $115.5 million deal. How do you feel about that?
Oh, I hate it. I do not like it at all.
JT Realmuto was one of their stars last year. One of their shining spots.
Yeah, but I think, I think he's the number one catcher right now for sure, but that position is just so weak right now. You don't really have a slugger coming out. You don't really have that, that old school Yan Gomes that threw every single runner out. You don't have like that Johnny Bench that threw every single runner out and hit bombs. You
don't have that Joe Mauer.
You don't have that combination of fielding and hitting anymore. It's one or the other.
Well, get this. His signing, so it's going to be $23.1 million annually. That's the highest by a catcher ever. It tops Joe Mauer.
Yeah.
It tops Yachty. It tops all of them.
That's not worth it. I would sign Yachty for a 5-year, that amount of money before Realmuto right now in their careers.
I mean, this past season he hit, 260?
Yeah.
260, batted in some homers.
And again, that's not 115 to me. That's a 3-year 80 mil. That's your average catcher contract. Just because you're the number one catcher, that's great. But if you're not going to put up the numbers like a number one catcher, I'm not going to pay you that much if I'm a GM.
Where do you think the Phillies stand this upcoming season then? In the NL East right now, the NL East is stacked. You have the Braves,
Yep.
you have the Mets, you have the Nationals, you have the Phillies, and you have the Marlins. Marlins, I'm saying, are going to probably be in the bottom of that league.
Yeah, you can eliminate the Marlins.
Because they have what moves have they made?
They re-signed Starling Marte.
That's biggest they've gone. Every other team in that division has gone out and shopped. The Mets, they just picked up Lindor. Nationals, who'd they go out and get?
Nationals got.
But they're also coming off of a World Series.
They got Trevor May back. They signed again Ryan Zimmerman back on that 1-year deal. I think he can do something else.
He's a good veteran to have in the system.
Yeah, the Nationals are definitely doing stuff with their bullpen.
They got Juan Soto. Juan Soto is insane.
And they got the three-headed monster in their rotation.
You're right.
Scherzer, Strasburg if he's healthy. And then, who's their third? Not coming to my mind.
I'm not really sure. But then if we move on to the Braves, look at that team.
Ozuna,
Acuna.
Albies, Acuna.
They're an amazing team.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're fun. They're a fun team to watch.
I still think the Braves are going to win the division.
Okay.
Still.
So what do you think is going to go? What do you think is going to go? You got Braves at the top?
Yep. Mets get the wild card. Mets or Padres get the wild card.
That Padres Mets is going to be a fun matchup to watch.
Definitely. I know you want to talk about that one.
I'm going to talk about that later on, but that is going to be a fun matchup to watch.
I mean, I think the Phillies' only really thing they need to get now is a bullpen.
Phillies, a lot of teams are looking to get bullpen help. Mets are looking to get bullpen help. Phillies, Royals, there's a lot of teams out shopping for bullpen right now.
I mean, they got Alvarez now. They have David Robertson. They're getting there, but they're all veterans. They need some of their young guys. I know Spencer Howard. I know he's a starter, but I like watching him a lot. Throw him in the bullpen for his rookie year. Just get him innings.
Oh, yeah, get him some innings.
innings.
Get him some experience, yeah.
Experience matters in the MLB. I know people, it's just a ball hitting a bat, but the experience of the ball hitting the bat matters a lot.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting to see how that NL East plays out.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
All right, what you got next, Jacob?
I would say probably favorite so far the offseason would be George Springer.
George Springer to the Blue Jays. He sets that lineup up so well.
He's one of the ones. He got a 6-year, $150 million. That is one of the big contracts I like. I think his offensive production, and that's a really young team. He's coming in as a veteran, a good offensive guy, solid defensive guy. You can put him 1 through 9 if you want.
But what do you think of this? This past season, Springer had a very big fall off after that World Series win by the Astros. You saw his average take a very big dip.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And the only thing I can say to that is he's a Northeast guy. He grew up in the Northeast and went to college in the Northeast. His whole life has been in the Northeast, so he knows how to play baseball in the Northeast. It's different playing in the cold.
It is very, coming from
different.
experience playing high school ball in the Northeast. I know you did the same thing.
Yeah, it's
not playing in the cold will mess you up, and he knows how to play in the cold.
Exactly. And, even if they don't end up playing in Canada, they'll play in Buffalo, which is they've kind of confirmed is going to be their secondary location.
Is that what they're going to do with all the COVID protocols?
Buffalo, or I heard Florida.
Ooh, that could mess them up because they don't. Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about for the season because that could mess them up.
No, for the season they would just stay in their spring training camp.
Wow.
Which I don't know if that's a bad thing. You get a month of that stadium.
Oh, so they get used to it and then okay. Because I'm saying if they're used to being in Canada, they have that how would I put it? They have that advantage of being in the cold and having to get to play in the cold. So not everyone's used to it. So when people come to them to play. People get smacked by that cold. They're not used to it.
Yeah, even in the dome,
even in the dome, it still stays cold. Yeah,
it stays cold. And I think that lineup it's just a bunch of young guys. You got Marcus Semien just came over from the A's. I don't know how I feel about that one yet. I want to see that one play out. Bo Bichette, Teoscar Hernandez, Vladdy Jr., Calvin Biggio, your 3 through 6.
Do we have a projected lineup for you?
I got one for you.
All right, let's hear it.
George Springer, Marcus Simeon, Bo Bichette, Teoscar Hernandez, Vlad Jr., Calvin Biggio, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., Rowdy Tellez, and Danny Jansen.
Me and you were talking about this earlier, and it got me so heated.
Mm-hmm.
You put Springer up in the leadoff hole. He is not a leadoff hitter. He is a 2 or 3 hitter.
I think
His on-base percentage is not there.
And I know it's not, but who would you put in the leadoff spot there?
I would say I'd put Teoscar. He has a really good on-base percentage. Or I would put Gurriel. Both of them are very productive. Gurriel walks about over 100 times a season. He has a low strikeout count.
But that's why they put him in the 7th spot.
But yeah, having someone in the bottom of the lineup that can produce like that.
They got rid of Kevin Pillar.
Oh, I forgot about that deal.
That was their leadoff guy. They need someone to replace that role.
Who's their big base stealer? Is it Bichette?
Base stealer? I would have to say right now probably Bichette and Teoscar.
I feel like having Bichette up there in the 3 hole is good though. He's a contact hitter, but he's also a power hitter.
Yeah, that 3 through 5 I really like those 3 young guys. Calvin Biggio is a hit or miss for me. You know, if he's against a righty, he'll do great. If he's
All right, sorry about that little interruption there, but we're gonna pick back up with our talk about the Blue Jays. We left off talking about how they have some base stealers now, gonna kind of set them up for some success by stealing bases, wreaking havoc on the base path. Jacob, what do you think about the game plan of stealing bases and trying to put runs across by playing by that ball game?
I really like it. I think they need to shift their focus from base stealing more to pitching. They just picked up James Paxton on a 1 year.
Did they?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's big.
That's exactly. They've Pearson coming up. I think it's his 2nd year in the league. If they can figure out their bullpen situation and I think get probably one more good starter and then one more your 4 or 5 kind of starter. They're set. They're a playoff team. That's a wildcard team in my mind. They're not going to beat the Yankees, but they're the Yankees.
They are the Yankees. They're the dynasty.
Yankees.
Everyone, don't get me started on the Yankees.
Yeah, you don't beat the Yankees, whatever.
But no, so we keep on coming back to this idea of building up the bullpen, which is honestly really interesting. I feel like a lot of teams right now don't have that bullpen, and if any of them add this like key bullpen player, they're gonna actually be really set up to make a playoff run.
Yeah, and I think a lot of teams have a lot of guys in there, that are prospects that they're not calling up.
That's one of the things that I really don't like about baseball right now. A lot of teams are in this rebuilding phase, like they want to call it.
Yeah.
But you see with the Mets right now, they just got Steve Cohen as their manager. They're out there. They're here to win. They want to win now. I like that mindset. Yeah. I think if you're going to try and, like, go out and win, you should have this win now mentality. Yeah. Like, there's no reason to be out there rebuilding for 10-plus years and then maybe making one run and then all your players leave. Like, I just don't see the point in it.
I mean, how long have the Marlins been in a rebuild?
Oh,
how long have the Tigers been in a rebuild?
Yeah.
Like, you see all these teams that just say, "Oh, we're going through a rebuild." And it's 10. Like, how long were the Cubs in a rebuild? 107 years.
The Cubs were in a rebuild for 107 years, and then they won one World Series, and now look at them now.
Because they went all in. That one season, they said, "We're going to win a championship this year, so we're going to pick up this guy. We're going to pick up this guy. We're going to train up Chris Bryant. We're gonna pick up Dexter Fowler. We're gonna pick up all these guys," and it worked.
That season, they had a lot of guys step up though. They had Kyle Schwarber step up, Rizzo step up. Yeah. Javi Baez step up. Mm-hmm. They had so many key players in that team, and it all just meshed together perfectly.
Yeah, and then the ownership just decided poof.
Yeah.
Now you have no team anymore. Now it's just your 4 core they had there before.
And now they're shopping Chris Bryant out.
Now you're back to step 1. It makes no sense.
I just don't like that mindset of let's rebuild.
Yeah.
And I mean, people that aren't rebuilding are the New York Yankees. They just signed DJ LeMahieu to a $90 million 6-year deal. I mean, I love it. Like, DJ LeMahieu is a great player, and he's done a lot of good things for the Yankees. Like, they're going to be a team to reckon with this year.
Yeah, definitely. That contract is really underpaid in my mind. He took the hometown boy contract.
He's one of their stars.
He's an MVP candidate every year. I always say, when I'm talking to some of the people that I talk baseball with, that he's kind of like a new age Derek Jeter, in my mind.
Actually, that's a really good way to put it.
He has that inside out swing that fits Yankee Stadium perfectly. They build it for hitters like Jeter. Like Luke Voit, like Aaron Judge, who have that that strong inside out swing, and push it to right center a lot. But obviously the new age Jeter, a lot of power, got the speed, has the glove. He's a five tool guy.
Yeah, he's an amazing player. Like, let's look up his stats real quick. Because he has just been producing for whatever team he's been on, and it's just amazing.
I know in the postseason he's hitting. He hit 281 in the postseason.
That's an amazing stat line right there.
I love that. I think LeMahieu is kind of their glue guy almost, if that's the right word. Their glue guy.
Oh, so get this, 2020, in 216 plate appearances, this man batted .364.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah,
I mean, granted, it's a shortened season, but
yeah.
216 plate appearances, batted .364. Like, by baseball terms, that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, even double his at bats.
Double his at yeah.
You're probably sitting still above 300, above 310. He's that's why I think he's the glue guy. He's gonna be the guy who's always on base for those power hitters. He's the contact guy in that power hitting lineup. Who he'll just always get on base for you.
Yeah, the Yankees are very set up. I'm pulling up their lineup or projected lineup. So we got DJ LeMahieu in the one hole, Aaron Judge, Luke Voit, Giancarlo Stanton, Gleyber Torres, Clint Frazier, Aaron Hicks, Giovanni Urshela, and Gary Sanchez. That's a really well-rounded lineup right there.
I got a question for you.
Okay, let's hear it.
How do you feel about Clint Frazier? How do you feel about him?
I think he is a very, very good fielder, and he's he's just a hit guy. He's a base hit here, base hit there. He's not going to go out, hit 30, 40 home runs in a season, but he's going to go out and get on base for you, and that's the biggest thing you need in that 6-hole.
I agree with that. Yeah.
You don't need someone going out there hitting 40 home runs like Giancarlo Stanton.
No, that's why you pay Judge. That's why you pay Stanton. That's why you pay Gleyber.
Exactly. Stanton's going out there hitting 40 home runs, but striking out 160 times.
Yeah.
You have Clint Frazier going out there, maybe not hitting as many home runs, but he's not going to strike out that much.
He'll strike out half the time, but hit half the home runs.
Yes. That's why I don't like Stanton as a player.
Yeah.
I don't like Stanton as a player because even though he hits all those home runs, he's going to strike out just as much as he hits a home run.
Yeah, I mean, just, it's I love watching, just going back and watching some of the old clips of him on the Marlins hitting those.
Oh, hitting the nukes.
Those 555, those 580-foot shots, but it's like.
Yeah, but what they don't show on SportsCenter is him striking out over 200 times in a season.
Yeah, they don't show the 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. The 1 for 4 with, he got on base because of an error. That's the reason he's on base that game. They don't show all that.
Same thing with Gary Sanchez. Yeah. I do not like Gary Sanchez. I feel like he's an overhyped catcher.
He's not. I don't like him as a fielding catcher.
Oh yeah, he's terrible at fielding, and I mean he's just a power hitter.
And again, that's where we go back to the catchers. It's a trade off. You either pay for the power or you pay for the fielding. You can't pay for both anymore.
Yeah. But Gary Sanchez is just not he batted 206 in 2020.
Exactly.
206, come on.
Yeah, why are you paying that guy?
You're in the MLB as one of the premier catchers for the Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you batting 206?
And that's what I go back to. It's a weak position. I don't know what's going on right now. I think what's his name? Adley Rutledge.
Oh, Rutledge, yeah.
Rutledge from the Orioles. I think
he's a really good player coming up through that system.
And that's the thing. I think is him especially. He needs to get into Baltimore. He has no chance.
Baltimore does not call anyone up until it's too late.
Yeah, exactly, and I think there's a wave of catchers coming. I know, Zach Collins from the White Sox. He's a pretty solid lefty. The rookie from the Cubs. He just took over for Contreras.
Mm-hmm.
He's a dual guy. You have guys starting to come through that are doing that dual thing, but they're not pulling them up enough.
Yeah,
they're just sitting them at AAA. And I think once that happens, it's going to be a new era for catchers.
I feel like we're about right on the edge of this new era of players. We grew up with all these players: David Wright, Todd Helton,
Yeah.
Yadier Molina, Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer, all these guys. We're on the verge of having another class of players come through that kids are going to grow up with and idolize. Like, we're on the tail end of an era right now.
And that's crazy. That's crazy to think about. It really is, I remember growing up wanting to be a catcher like Buster Posey.
Yeah.
What's he doing now?
What is he, like a first baseman, like slightly now? Like I don't think he even is a catcher anymore.
I think he's been hurt for the past 3 years. But what's he doing? What's Yachty doing?
Yachty's still going a little bit. He's got a little bit of steam left in him.
Yeah, you gotta drag him.
He's not much of a hitter anymore, but he's such a good catcher, right? Like behind the plate, it's amazing. And like you said, you either get power or you get fielding, like with the catcher position.
Definitely.
All right, you got anything else?
One more that I want to add, definitely. Liam Hendricks going to the White Sox. He had a 1.8 ERA or 1.8 ERA in 2019 and a 1.7 in 2020. If that's who you're looking at for your bullpen, I know they just got rid of Dane Dunning, Alex Colon, who were two of their kind of primary setup guys, but now you can go. Garrett Crochet was the 56th rated prospect. You have him as a flame throwing lefty. Aaron Bummer, who's got that nasty lefty sinker. He was the 8th best relief pitcher, and Cody Howard. Young guy, but he's a righty. He knows what he's going in there to do.
Yeah.
He's a ground ball pitcher. He goes in there. He does his thing. He gets off the field. And now you have Hendricks closing.
Oh.
That's disgusting.
Wow.
I love that.
Wow.
That bullpen is amazing now. If they don't,
like we were saying before, you have a good bullpen, you're going to set yourself up for success.
Exactly, and that's what the White Sox are doing. They have Giolito already.
I like the White Sox this year.
I do too.
I don't know how far they're going to go in the playoffs, but they're definitely a team to keep your eye on.
They need hitting for sure. I think with the bullpen, that can hold them down for a year or two. You've Giolito, who's going to give you 7 innings every start.
Yeah,
he's a stud now. He's Cy Young guy. He's good. But who do you have hitting? You have Jose Abreu, you have Tim Anderson.
Tim Anderson had a breakout year.
Okada.
This past season, Tim Anderson had a breakout year. He did amazing.
Absolutely. I don't know who else you're gonna. You need outfielders. You need. I think Yasmani Grandal is still there catching the switch hitter. That's that, and again, you're trading off for power. We go back to the catching situation. You're trading off for power. You're trading that horrible fielding for the power.
It's funny that we just keep on coming back to this catching position, and it's just like you're right. It's just a soft spot in the MLB right now.
Yeah. Catching and bullpen, I think, is something that every team needs.
They're the two keys for teams right now.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. What do you got now? You got some small moves for me?
I definitely got some
small signings.
So the first one that I started here was Andrelton Simmons going to the Twins. I like that one a lot.
He's a very good fielder.
Exactly, I like that.
He's done a lot of good things for teams.
And that's why I like that pickup. They're a power hitting team. Pitching is it can get you by, but the Twins' main focus is put up 10 runs every game. They're looking to out hit teams. So, if you're going for guys like Miguel Sano, Nelson Cruz, that's a big trade-off for fielding for the runs, which for the Twins it works. They have that stadium where it allows them to hit those monster home runs. They can do that, but with trading off the fielding, now you leave a big hole. And I think who was their shortstop last year, like Jorge Polanco or Marvin Gonzalez maybe, one of those guys, and now you put in a Gold Glove guy.
Yeah.
Now you put in a guy that's going to lock down that middle infield.
He does not make errors.
No, he doesn't, and that's why I like that pick.
He's a very flashy player too when he makes those plays. If you watch some of his highlights, they're insane to watch. It's amazing.
He gets the stuff that I don't think 99% of the shortstops.
His range is so amazing. It's crazy.
Another one I have is Brad Hand of the Nationals.
As a Mets fan, I wanted Brad Hand so bad. He's such a nice pitcher.
I know you did. 16 for 16 last year on saves. I don't think I need to say.
You don't have to even put anything more into that. 16 for 16 is an amazing stat line right there.
Yeah, the past
in a shortened season too.
Yes, short season. Yeah, Past couple of years, the Nationals lost Greg Holland, Sean Doolittle, Calvin Herrera, and Hunter Strickland. So they're finally starting to rebuild that. They're getting some low level relievers. Brad Hand's gonna close them down, thankfully. I think that's a great pickup for him.
That's real big.
Ooh, I forgot to mention this one earlier when we were talking about the Blue Jays. Kirby Yates going to the Blue Jays on a 1-year deal.
Is he?
I like that one. He was pretty good on the Padres. He had a bad 2020. And again I go back to the shortened seasons. I want to count everybody's stats. I want to take them for what they are, but it was a shortened season.
Yes.
You guys aren't putting up 40, 50 homers in that kind of environment. So him having a down year last year, I think is okay. You're kind of going to a climate controlled Rogers Center.
So are you telling me that you have a bold prediction that he's gonna have a breakout year this year?
I'm not gonna say breakout. I think he'll get back to where he was.
Okay.
For sure. I don't know. I think everything kind of depends on COVID still, on A, where they play, and B, how the season kind of lays out. Because if they're in a place like the Rogers Center where they can kind of control the climate in there with the dome, you can get back to pitching in San Diego, with nothing around, the heat. You can kind of play kind of where you were and what you're used to feeling. If you're playing Buffalo, holy moly, that's gonna be cold.
Yeah.
You're not used to that at all. You're gonna struggle that first.
Buffalo, you might be playing in snow some days.
Exactly. Guy coming from San Diego is not used to that.
Yeah.
At all. And then another reliever, Archie Bradley to the Phillies on a 1-year. Again, if he stays healthy, I think he can be top 10. He was for a while. He was the Nationals lockdown guy, and had some just unfortunate injuries. Just stuff happens. But he was top 10. I think he can definitely get back top 10 if he stays healthy, for sure.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Last one I have is Nelson Cruz going back to the Twins. I love that one.
Nelson Cruz. That's
Love
such
that
a
one.
blast from the past right there. He was such a stud back when he was on the Rangers.
Dude, I remember watching him growing up in the World Series, against the Cardinals. I loved it, dude. Like he was one of the guys you had to watch. He was one of the guys that could hit for
He would probably finish in like top 10 MVP voting almost every year, right?
every year because he's a 30-40 homer guy. You can't look past that.
Yeah.
I don't think he's as bad as Stanton with the strikeouts. I mean,
He does have his fair share of strikeouts.
he's up there for sure, but I think he's worth it. And one more thing to add, on his contract, this is crazy. So this is gonna blow your mind. His personal chef is now added to the game day staff.
No way.
Yes.
What, is he getting homemade meals every single game now?
Yes. His personal chef is
Oh
added to the
my
game day
god. That's amazing.
staff. Yep.
So what's his deal? Like, what's the deal for him? It's how much money?
1 year, I would assume 14, 15?
14 mil, and then he has the little stipulation that he has to have his home cook chef on the contract as well.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
amazing.
Yes.
All right, moving on from that, I'm gonna talk about my team, the New York Mets. We're making some moves this offseason. So Steve Cohen, billionaire, he bought the Mets from the Wilpons earlier in the year. He came in saying like, I'm playing to win, and I just love this mentality. I said it earlier, having a owner that actually wants to go out and get players, I love to see it. He went out to like the city of New York and said, I'm gonna bring you a championship.
Mm-hmm.
Like his first day of ownership. And what he's done is honestly amazing. He has signed James McCann, catcher from the White Sox, to a 4-year deal. Mets have not had a catcher for forever.
Who was their last one? Wilson Ramos?
We had Wilson Ramos. He was a bum.
Oh.
We had Travis d'Arnaud, who decided to leave the Mets and become a stud.
And
The story of the Mets.
Yeah.
That's just what happens.
Mm-hmm.
But I love this signing because we need some kind of catcher that's going to do some stuff for us. He's great behind the plate. He's a decent hitter. He's not great. I mean, he bats .270. Like, it's nice to have behind the plate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a solid behind the plate guy.
Yep. And And then we got the signing of Joey Lucchesi, which I love. That adds some depth to us.
Lucchesi came actually in a 3-team trade.
He did come in a 3-team trade. Yeah, that was big.
Yeah.
So the teams that were involved in this trade were, let's see, who was it?
I believe
it was the Padres and Pirates. Mets got Lucchesi.
Yep.
Padres got Joe Musgrove, who the Pirates got in that Garrett Cole trade to the Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Joe Musgrove has kind of been struggling lately. This past season, he didn't put up great numbers, but I think that's a good pickup for the Padres.
Yeah.
And then the Pirates, they got Hudson Heed, David Bednar, Omar Cruz, Drake Fellows, and Endy Rodriguez. So they got a lot of players, but they're all like farm system guys. So like we'll see how that plays out for the Pirates. But in my opinion, I feel like the Mets won this deal because Joey Lucchesi is an amazing back end pitcher of the rotation.
I agree. He's a great lefty guy who's great for the Padres. You know, he's that solid 5 guy that you can always rely on.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then moving on to probably one of my favorite deals of the offseason so far.
You haven't talked
I'm
about
a little bit biased here.
Every day I hear about this.
But the New York Mets went out and made one of the blockbuster deals of the MLB offseason. They signed Francisco Lindor and Carlos Carrasco. This is huge for the Mets. We have not had a star player like Francisco Lindor on the Mets since I'd probably say David Wright.
Yeah. I mean, you can even make a case for Cespedes when he came over for the.
I mean, this is like about that magnitude, but Cespedes also died out after that 2015 World Series run. He died out.
He took about 5 swings and hurt his back.
Yeah, no. He got hurt tending to his pigs on his farm. That's how he got hurt.
Oh God.
That's just the story of the Mets. That there's nothing to put to it. But get this, the Mets got Francisco Lindor and Carlos Carrasco for Ahmed Rosario and Andres Jimenez, Josh Wolf, and Isaiah Green. Like,
that's insane.
Ahmed Rosario, he was a decent player. Like, he was a decent player for us. He did okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just traded away some, like, farm system guys. Like, I'm okay with that. We're trying to win now.
So you're basically making a straight swap at short for Rosario and Lindor.
Yeah.
I like that.
I love it for the Mets.
I like that. And
I love it.
I like Carrasco, too.
Carrasco is such a good 2 guy for Mets right now.
Mm-hmm.
Except, I got something else for you.
Maybe. This is a
big one. So the Mets traded Steven Matz to the Blue Jays, which opens up about $5.2 million in their salary cap. There's some whispers going around the MLB right now. Do you know what that is, Jacob?
I do know what it is, but I don't want to listen to them. I can't listen to them yet.
Mets are in talks to get Trevor Bauer from the Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah, they're in talks.
They're in talks. Very loud whispers.
That's talk.
It's talk, but Mets are front runners according to MLB.
Until he puts that pen on paper, I don't want to listen to it.
I don't know about that, but I'm excited. They have just enough space for that luxury cap to sign that. If they pick up Bauer, they have a very good shot at the playoffs. If they can sign a good bullpen guy, they're making a playoff run this year.
If they sign
I'm calling it now. If they get a bullpen piece, they are making a playoff run this year.
Yes. I think if they sign Bauer, they win the East. Because then, they'll just outpitch everybody.
That's what the Mets did in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
They just outpitched everyone with that lineup of, who do we have? We had DeGrom, Syndergaard, Matz, Cologne, Lugo, Zalman. Like, we had amazing pitchers that year, but after that, we all kind of fell off. So now we're rebuilding that rotation, and I'm loving it this year. We got DeGrom, we got Carrasco, Stroman, we got Lucchesi, and even if we don't sign Bauer, we still have Peterson.
Yeah.
And then if Syndergaard can get back and be healthy, we have Syndergaard too.
Tommy John, correct?
Yes, he's coming back from Tommy John, which is never good. But if we can get him back and be healthy, that's amazing. He's such a lights out pitcher when he's healthy, but he has not been healthy in like probably 2 or 3 seasons.
Oh yeah, Oh yeah, definitely. And they've been making those bullpen additions too. They just got Trevor May from the Twins.
They did just get Trevor May.
I like that signing a lot.
Our bullpen is starting to get there. We got Edwin Diaz for our closer. We got Seth Lugo as our setup man.
Big bounce back year for Edwin Diaz.
I'm really hoping because I love Edwin Diaz when he was on the Mariners.
Mm-hmm.
So when he came to the Mets, he fell off a little bit.
The 40 savior on the Mariners.
Yeah, he went from 40 saves to blowing every save on the Mets. But I'm really hoping he has a bounce back year this year because in 2020 he did pretty good. He did decent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if we have Edwin Diaz producing for us, we have a very good shot.
And you can't forget Batanzas back there too.
We do have Batanzas. Last year we didn't have him because he was hurt.
If he stays healthy, I think if he puts up numbers like he did in New York.
That's so. If we have a bullpen and a rotation that stays healthy, I have a feeling we're very set for the playoffs.
I would say that's probably the second best pitching staff in the MLB then.
Who's the best?
Dodgers. I still think that.
And the only reason, LA boy.
Hey, you can't hate him.
You LA boy.
You can't hate him, man. You really can't, especially right now.
I can't say anything against them. They're amazing.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna debate you because I just think that the Mets have the best. They have the number one pitcher in all of baseball right now.
They do. I'm not denying that. I'm not gonna deny that, but just because you got number one doesn't mean you have number one. Two through 500.
What do you say? What do you say if we sign Trevor Bauer?
Best pitching staff.
Okay. That's what we're waiting on right now. Like nothing's been put in paper or anything.
Well, I'm not gonna say. Well, maybe not pitching staff. Best rotation.
I would say best rotation. Yes.
Best rotation. Yeah.
Because Mets definitely do not have the bullpen to put them in.
I think the Dodgers have the best bullpen in baseball.
I would say
I
would say they have the best overall staff in all of baseball.
Yeah.
I would definitely say that.
I agree because even if they put Urias in the bullpen, they're still that's still crazy. Because he's been coming out in the playoffs a lot.
Yeah. All right, but that's all I got for the Mets. I'm very excited for this season coming up. Definitely. This is probably the first season I can actually say that this is our year. Don't roast me because I say this every year, but don't say it.
This is the second season I've heard that, and you're 0 for 2 so far. So I'm just
I'm just saying this is the first season that I'm actually confident in saying this.
Well, hey, you can be confident, but they gotta show up to play.
You're right.
That's all it comes down to.
You're right.
If they show up to play, they'll be a force to reckon with. If not, no, you'll be 0 for 3.
Well, I have my fingers crossed, and I'm praying to the gods on this one. All right. You got anything you want to talk about?
Absolutely. I'll take it out west. San Diego Padres made some huge.
I love their moves.
Pitching moves.
I love their moves this year.
Huge pitching moves. Yu Darvish, Joe Musgrove, and Blake Snell, all from trades. Didn't sign one of them. Traded for all 3. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I love the Darvish.
Mm-hmm.
I love Musgrove. He just had an off season last year. Like I don't know how he's gonna do this year.
I can take that.
And then who else did you say?
Blake Snell.
I love that deal.
Mm-hmm.
I love Blake Snell. He's an amazing pitcher. He did amazing for the Rays this past season. Mm-hmm. He led them to the playoffs.
So this is going to be their rotation as of right now. They could run a 6-man and have it work.
Let's hear it.
Yu Darvish, Blake Snell, Danielson Lamet, Musgrove, and Chris Paddock.
Oh my God. You think Yu Darvish is the number one? I'll put Snell.
Might be because he's a righty. You might want to have that lefty in the 2 spot.
You're right.
Only because they're both superstars at this point. I don't know if you could flip them 1 or 2. I think Blake Snell had a better year just because of his play. But did he only just turn up in the playoffs? Was he that consistent through the whole year? I mean, he had a 3.2 ERA
in the regular season.
Yeah.
What was his ERA in the postseason though?
3.03.
He's just a lights out pitcher. When he's hot, he's hot.
And that's I think the key if he's hot, and that's why I don't put him at a 1, because that big loopy lefty curveball, you see him with Kershaw. It either goes, it's either strike 3 or it's 500 feet over the fence.
That's the thing.
There's no in between.
When Kershaw plays in the postseason, it's cold out. He can't get that curveball around.
Exactly. That's my fear with Snell.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Again, you're going out west, but who else is in the West? You got some good teams in the West.
But if we just even put the Padres pitching staff aside, can we just look at their lineup?
Oh,
they're full of superstars.
I think their lineup is one of the most balanced in terms of contact hitting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Trent Grisham, Tatis, Machado are your first three. I like Trent Grisham. You know, I'm not. You know, I don't love him. I like him. But then Tatis and Machado.
Tatis is he came into the league and he's just been a superstar ever since.
He's a cover athlete this year.
Yeah, and then I mean Machado, he has his years. Like when he first came out of the Orioles, he kind of had a little bit of a weird time there, but he went to the Padres and he just turned up.
And I think that's adjustment. I think all he had to do was just adjust. He found his little niche in San Diego, and it's working.
Yeah,
it's working, and it's not.
He also made the move back to third base because he left third base for a little bit.
He wasn't short.
He's not a shortstop. He's a third baseman, and I think putting him back at third was the right move.
And again, hitting your nick, Eric Hosmer.
Yeah.
You know, he was a solid guy on the Royals, but
he was a key part of that World Series team in 2015.
Yeah, but I think once you hit that San Diego, he flipped a switch,
mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden he went from hitting 250 to 260, 270. And he's still hitting the same amount of home runs.
And he's
striking out less.
If the trend keeps going, he's gonna go up even more this year.
Exactly, and that's my hope for Padres fans, honestly. And then I'm a big fan of Tommy Pham and Will Myers. Will Myers, big power hitter.
Will Myers has been very good since his rookie year.
He's just
a very consistent player.
He'll strike out 200 times, but
what you're getting with him.
I'm cool with that.
You know what you're getting.
I'm cool with that. Tommy Pham, doesn't do much. He'll get on base for you once in a while, but he was big in the postseason for him. He was huge in the postseason for him. I just had it up here. 350 or 375 in 24 at bats.
Wow.
This postseason.
That's big.
375. That's awesome to me. I like seeing that, especially from a guy who wasn't, looked upon.
Yeah.
In that lineup.
Do you have a projected lineup for me?
Oh, I think I already read that one off to you.
For the Padres?
Yeah.
No, we had the Blue Jays.
It's gonna be Grisham, Tatis, Machado, Hosmer, Tommy Pham, Will Myers, Jake Cronenworth, and Austin Nola.
I like it.
Cronenworth and Nola. I mean, Austin Nola's not terrible. I mean, again, you're trading that hitting for defense. He's a defensive catcher. You're definitely and I think that one is a big trade off.
Mm-hmm.
I think if the Padres could get, a Yasmani Grandal, a JT Realmuto, instead of a hitting catcher, and exchanging some of that fielding for a bat, I think would help them even more.
It's really hard to find that balance though.
Yeah.
Because to what extent do you go for fielding, and to what extent would you go for hitting?
Yeah.
You have to find that balance of it so that it's not going to cost you games in the long run.
I mean, you have Grisham in center, Tommy Pham in right, and Will Myers in left. Your center fielder and your right fielder are locks,
mm-hmm.
or center and left. Will Myers is he'll grab a couple balls in the outfield, but you have two speedy guys in the outfield that can cover a lot of ground. I think that trade off would be good for him. Because you have Machado and Tatis on the left side of the infield, and then you have Hosmer on the right.
Yeah.
I think that's great. I think they'll at least this coming year I think they'll win the wild card minimum. And then I got them losing to the Dodgers in the NLCS.
So wait.
I think Padres are gonna
wait.
Yep.
Who do you have them beating in the NLDS?
Oh, your boys.
Explain that to me. Explain it to me.
I think they're just gonna out-hit them.
You think so?
Because this is why I think that. I think when you have a rotation with Darvish, Snell, Paddock, Lamet, Musgrove, you're kind of setting yourself up for the same rotation as the Mets. You have your top three. You have your
that pitching matchup is gonna be that series is gonna be a pitching duel.
Yeah,
it's gonna just be a straight pitching duel that entire series.
And I think the Padres are more consistent.
You think so?
Consistency wise, yes.
Jacob deGrom has been consistent for, 3-4 years now?
But that's your one guy.
That's our one guy. Stroman, he...
Hit or miss.
He didn't... he didn't play this past season, so we don't have anything to go off recently.
He's hit or miss.
It's kind of hard to say right now.
I'll go off the Blue Jays. He was hit or miss with the Blue Jays.
Yes.
You know, because he could have a normal Blue Jay start and give up 2 runs. You know, go your normal 6 innings, or you know, he turns up like he did on Team USA.
Oh, in Team USA, he was amazing.
Go 7 strong, lead your team to freaking victory.
Yeah.
You know, he's really hit or miss. Like, you know, if it's those big moments, he likes that.
But then we also have Carrasco. That pickup of Carrasco, he's a very consistent pitcher.
I still think I just think the Padres are gonna out-hit him. That's really.
But then I also have this for you.
All right.
The Mets have every single position in the top 10 except for third base and relief pitcher. Every single position is in the top 10 of all the MLB, according to the MLB pipeline. We have Jeff McNeil, second base, number 2. We have Francisco Lindor at shortstop, number 4. Brandon Nimmo at center field at number 5. Dom Smith, left field, number 6. Pete Alonso, first base, number 7. Conforto, right field, number 7. And James McCann, catcher, at number 10.
Is that MLB ranking or
it is
nationally ranking?
This is all of MLB. MLB Network's top 10 player in each position. I'm telling you, these guys, they may not all be power hitters, but they're all going to get on base.
This is gonna be a fun series to watch.
It's going to be amazing.
This is going to be a great series.
I just want to see them. I want to see them match up in the regular season. Do we know if they match up at all?
I'm sure they do. NL, 2 NL teams. I'm sure they.
I really want to see that matchup because I feel like it would be a fun one to watch and kind of gauge how it's going to go if they meet in the postseason.
I'm sure they'll play once in. I mean, it might be a situation so once in San Diego, twice in New York, or one and one. But I think we'll definitely see them once in each stadium.
It'll be a nice kind of like ramp up to what we're going to see if they do meet.
Yeah. I don't think the Padres can win the division yet. I think that young core needs to build a little more. Tatis needs another year. I mean, Tatis is killing it.
Tatis is killing it, but he's also still young. What veterans does he have by him, like kind of teaching him the ways?
Machado and Hosmer. Those are really your only 2 hitters.
He might learn some things from Hosmer to lead. He's gonna end up being the leader of this team someday.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
I mean,
I think he already is.
You think so?
I think he already is.
He's young though. I don't know if he can do it yet.
He's like Juan Soto. Juan Soto's he leads that team.
It's just hard to say. If you have guys like Machado and Hosmer, I feel like they're going to be the ones that are going to take those leadership roles. I mean, maybe not Machado because he doesn't really have many leadership qualities. He's too much of a hothead.
Yeah, he's a prick.
But Hosmer, I think he's the one that's taking the reins for this team.
Yeah. We'll definitely see. I think the Padres are probably my team to watch this year. Because I don't think they're going to win the West. I still think the Dodgers can beat them out in the West just because the Dodgers are. I think the Dodgers are kind of the super team right now.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna have to tell you though, my team to watch right now, either the White Sox or the Minnesota Twins. The pickups of the Twins I like.
I like the White Sox a lot. If the Twins stay healthy,
yes, yeah, it all depends on that, which you can't tell.
And they don't give up more than 2 runs a game.
You're right.
Their pitching needs to be at least somewhat on. And they can't get hurt. Because Nelson Cruz, he's getting older. He could start getting problems.
Mm-hmm.
Like also know he's a big dude. He could be, having some issues. You have these guys that they're getting up there. So it's gonna be really hit or miss for him. You got Nelson Cruz. He's gonna hit 40 home runs or he's gonna hit 5.
Yeah.
Age is starting to play a factor. I think on the Twins a little more. Because
Mm-hmm.
the White Sox they have too many guys that are up and coming. They have Blake Rutherford coming.
Yeah, White Sox have a lot of young talent. A lot.
And White Sox, if you're listening to this, you got to re-sign Trayvon. I don't know what you guys are thinking, but you got to re-sign my guy. You got to re-sign Trayvon Robinson. Put him out in center. You guys need help. But yeah, I mean, Blake Rutherford. I was talking to Trayvon about him actually. He's one of the guys that they're gonna start looking for.
Really?
He's as an outfield presence. He's one of the guys. And I mean, Jose Abreu's been tearing up. I like the White Sox a lot in the AL, especially for the Central.
All right. Well, I mean, that's all I got to talk about. What about you, Jacob?
I'm good for today.
All right. Well, that's been 278 Sports Street. I'm Bobby LaFavor.
And I'm Jacob.
All right. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you on the next one.
See ya.